Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for tuning in to another one of my videos. I'm here at McGrath Volvo Cars of Fort Myers, and I'm here with this. This is a 2022 Kia Telluride. This is the top of the line SX Prestige Nightfall Edition package in the most popular color that Kia makes. And I'm here to find out why is this vehicle one of the most sought after sport utilities on the market today. If you want to find out, keep on watching. Well, so Kia Telluride continues to be the most sought after vehicles on the market in the United States right now. And I think they found the perfect recipe, and that is to deliver a cool looking car with tons of feature at a price that is fairly affordable or very competitive in the market today. So let's take a look at this particular one. Now, this is the SX Prestige trim, which is the highest trim that you can get on the Kia. The color on it, it's called Gray Wolf, and it is a premium color combination of it. And it also has the Nightfall package. And what that includes, as you can see on the front and on the side of this vehicle, it does have everything basically blacked out. So all of the trim that normally would be a polished aluminum or chrome are now in this black color. So let's take a look at the hood of it. The hood is fairly simple. It does have those two distinct grooves on both sides right there for that more aerodynamic look. Telluride, which is spelled out right on front of this hood. We've seen it on the Range Rovers for a long time now. I know Ford Explorers are doing it, and recently the Wagoneers and the Grand Wagoneers are doing that as well. Again, I mentioned it does have the Nightfall package, so all this grille is blacked out. So typical to Kia, the tiger nose grille, and it does have a new Kia logo, which is blacked out, so you can't really see it. Actually, I thought that this was in silver on the regular one, so I'm not sure if somebody actually painted this black or actually changed the logo on this particular unit, but maybe I'm wrong. Now at the bottom of here, you have a little bit of the shiny black trim. This portion right here with a lot of the technology hides, and there's a lot of standard safety features on the vehicle, starting with the base trim and ending at this top of the line trim. Now what also I see, there is a camera right underneath the logo, so that tells me that this vehicle is equipped with the 360 degrees camera. And take a look at the lights. The lights are pretty cool. They have this very distinct amber color daytime running lights / turn signals, and inside of them there are two, they're stacked on top of each other, LED lights, standard on the SX model, and then there's a corner light right on the side in here. Now what you also have in here is functional air intakes, and then you also have a LED fog lights on this top of the line trim. So let's see what powers up this thing. So the power plant on this Telluride remains the same, and I really like this engine when I did the first Telluride and then the Hyundai Palisade, which shares its power plant with, and that's the 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 engine, 291 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. Now it is mated to an electronically controlled 8-speed automatic transmission with 4 different select drive modes. Now this particular one is an all-wheel drive model, and it can go 0 to 60 in just about 7 seconds or so. So it's not a slow vehicle. What's also worth to mention that it does have a pretty good gas mileage, 19 in the city, 24 on the expressway. So that's something that's pretty good on this vehicle. As you can see, hydraulic hood struts, and it's got some noise insulation, sound insulation on that hood. Well, guys, what's worth mentioning that the Kia Telluride is a midsize SUV, of course, and that means that it competes in the non-premium midsize SUV market. And the competitors are Toyota Highlander, the new Nissan Pathfinder, Honda Pilot, Hyundai Palisade, which is basically the same platform and the power plant with a different styling on the exterior and the interior and such. So it is a very crowded and very competitive market. Now, it has been the best-selling SUV on the market. Certain trims, such as like this SX with the Prestige package, you have to wait months before you get your hands on it. And it not only because of the inventory shortage, it has been like this prior to that as well. So what's the recipe for success? Like I said before, make the vehicle look visually appealing, make it look cool, deliver tons of features, which we're going to go on the interior, and price it out that it's not priced out of the market. So let's take a look. First of all, that wolf gray color, love it, probably one of my best color choices for this vehicle. Matter of fact, it works so well with this Nightfall package and the trim around the wheels. This might be my next vehicle. I gotta tell you, this matte gray, it doesn't work on all the cars, that cladding around the wheel wells, but it looks very, very good on this particular car. Now, it's not on the matte gray. It continues all the way underneath the doors right here, and it also has this shiny black trim right on here that normally would be like polished aluminum or maybe chrome on some models as well. What's also part of that Nightfall package is you have those 20-inch wheels. They're nice black colored wheels. I like the design of them. And then you continue to see a lot of the shiny black trim, like on the bottom of the mirror, now around the windows right here. Even the pillars, the BNC pillars, are painted in the shiny black, and that makes it for nice liquid look. The continuity right here that looks like one piece. It looks super cool, very visually appealing. Now, as far as the mirrors, you do have the LED turn signal indicator. You do have a camera right here, also a blind spot inside of the mirror, and they are foldable as well. It is equipped with a smart entry system, so you can lock the vehicle and unlock it, but putting your hand inside of this vehicle as well, so you don't have to press any buttons on the keys. Now, for the record, I want to mention that the running boards that are on this vehicle, they're not Kia running boards. Somebody added them after they purchased the vehicle. I'm also not sure if the crossbars are Kia. I didn't see any Kia branding on them. Now, the roof rails are standard on the vehicle. The crossbars were added. But you can also put a box on top and extend your cargo capacity of this vehicle as well. So guys, we're going to start with the key on this Kia. This is the new style Kia key. It does have the new logo. It does have a remote starter that's located on the side of this vehicle. And the buttons are located on the edge of the key, which is pretty cool. It does have this almost like a trigger button. You have the lock, unlock, hold for the gate, panic button, and this is the release for the manual key, just in case your battery dies and you can't access your vehicle. So let's take a look at the rest of this vehicle. Well, the back of it continues with this more cohesive look with this vehicle. You still have this kind of cascading fully LED lights, the turn signals, the reverse lights, the brake lights, of course. So all-wheel drive, this is an extra option. So even if you opt in for the SX, it's about $1,900 to go with the all-wheel drive. Telluride spelled out in here, and Kia, that again is in black. Now, the more I look at this logo right here, the more I think that somebody just added that or painted it and stuck it back on this vehicle, because if I'm not mistaken, this is actually in silver. If you guys know for a fact, let me know in the comment section below. Now, it does have this tailgate spoiler with the third brake light and this wiper right here. In my opinion, it should be up there. I'm not sure why they don't do it. They do it on the Sorento, which is a nice feature, and I think we'll just keep it out of the elements and just make it look a little bit better as far as the design of it. Now, also the bottom portion of the bumper, you have the mandatory lights right here. Those are the reflector lights. The bottom portion right here, this is all matte gray, and the very bottom portion of this bumper is shiny black. So, I mean, also a nice combination. This vehicle is also equipped with the towing hitch, and as far as towing capability, it tows up to 5,000 pounds. So not bad at all for a vehicle in its class. Let's pop this open and let's see how much room there is inside of this vehicle. I gotta tell you, it does have one of the best cargo space inside or behind the third row seat. It's like about 23 cubic feet or something like this, which is more than on my Pilot, by the way. And let's see if it does have a storage compartment underneath, which it does. It does have this kind of fake floor, but it is so useful if you don't want people to see what you have. Right there, you can see through this opening right here, there is a jack to lift up the car in case you need to change the spare tire, and then the seats fold down 60/40. Now, as far as the third row seat, you have to fold them down manually, and that's a really simple thing. You basically pull on here and then drop them, and then you can do it with both of them. Now, the seat on the right hand side is not all the way to the front, but I can still fold it down. Now, these would be a little bit too far to move if you wanted to fold them from here, so you'd have to go inside, but you don't. They actually have the option for the second row seat that if you press this button, here's what happens. It's gonna drop it. I mean, if you want to lift it up, you're gonna have to lift it up manually. Now, the Palisade, I believe, have the options for the power third row seat. This one doesn't. Here we have a power outlet, the cigarette starter power outlet, and then you can see in the back third row seat, you have the cup holders and the USB ports on both sides in here. Now, also from this angle, it's probably going to be the easiest to see that this vehicle is equipped with two sunroofs. Like, you have one sunroof in the back right there, one sunroof in the front, and I'm not sure if this one opens. We're going to check it out while I'm on the interior. Well, guys, I gotta tell you, this, I could travel in style. It is super comfortable. I'm reclined right now. I have plenty of room for my knees. I'm relaxing. It doesn't have a massage seat, but it does have heated and ventilated seats for the rear passengers. It is also fully adjustable. Not only you can recline it, but you can move this seat back and forth, so you have to adjust the room as well for yourself as well for the person in the back of you. What's also important, that this seat is so far up front, and that's cool, because if you have kids, they're not going to be kicking the back of the seat and annoying the out of you, and that's a pretty important feature in my book. Also, it makes it for a super comfortable ride. If you look at this, the seat is adjusted a little bit to the front right now. I still have plenty of room. My feet will slide underneath the front seat. I have plenty of shoulder room. I even have this little armrest right here that I can adjust, and then I can go for a long ride with this vehicle, that's for sure. Plenty of headroom, shoulder room, knee room. That's a huge plus. Now, the seats are adjustable. I told you that already. You can also fold them with one touch. There's two little buttons on the seat that can do it. One that's on the side of this and one on top. If you wanted to get in this vehicle, all you do is press this button right here. It folds the seat and slides it forward for an easier in and out exit or entry to this vehicle. I gotta tell you, this interior is so cool. I can't wait to show it to you. Let's take a look at the door right here. I mean, it's nicely appointed. It's not boring. It looks very cool. By the way, it does have the sunshade on the windows. It is manual sunshade, but it is such a nice feature, especially when you have kids. And this right here is a soft plastic. This trim, it's a wood-looking trim, and then you have the polished aluminum at the bottom. You also have the speaker cover that's encompassed in this polished aluminum trim. And there's a Harman Kardon stereo, so it is a premium stereo. Also, your armrest is nicely padded, and this trim right here, it's Prestige, so it does have heated and ventilated seats in the back as well, and this is where you open your windows. You have a little bit more storage right underneath here. And let's get inside of it, because this one has some features that I haven't seen on the one that I did before. First of all, I gotta tell you, love this Nappa leather. It is contrast stitching. It's got different designs of it. Plus, it feels very comfortable. It actually feels more comfortable than some of the Highline luxury vehicles that I've done. It does have seat back pockets in both seats with a little netting right here too, in case you want to just drop your phone and not have to search for it. Okay, at the bottom right here on this console, you have a 120 volt or 150 watt outlet. Right here, regular household outlet, and you can see that it's turned on right now, and you have the cigarette style outlet as well. Now, You also have your cup holders, of course, and this configuration is 2 captain chairs in the back. And then let me just get in here and I'll show you the rest of it. Now, this probably would be my favorite feature of this vehicle, just because I have one screen and my both kids are fighting over it. So this would really be cool. Now you have several options to make it work. Like you can see, YouTube, internet, media player. So let's see if we can go to YouTube. You need to have Wi-Fi. You have the mirroring options, HDMI, RSE store, which is rear seat entertainment store, and then settings. So you can basically set it up with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth display, general and device. So pretty cool options, and you have 2 of them. Check this out, 2 monitors in the back. This is an awesome option, especially for those of you who have kids, or maybe somebody that's going on a long trip and is bored all the time. At the top here, you have your rear climate controls, right? So you have the temperature settings, auto, then it's actually screen displaying the temperature, etc. So you can actually see, move it up or down. The fan settings are on the other side. LED lights, nice and bright, and this whole fabric that is used, I'm not sure if it's Alcantara or it's kind of suede looking, but it's very nice to the touch. It definitely feels premium. And then you can see you have this sunroof in the back. I think that opens from the front. I'm not sure why it wouldn't have the ability to open it from somewhere here. So there's 2 ways of getting into the 3rd row seat. One of them being folding this seat down and moving it forward, and this is a 1-button operation, which is really, really nice. Or if you have child seats like I do, you can simply go in through that gap in between. Now, these seats, by the way, they move forward and backwards as you saw before, so you can adjust the amount of space that you have for your knees. It is a mid-size SUV, so you're not going to have tons of room. My knees are touching. I am 6 feet tall, but this seat is also moved all the way back. Now, if I moved it a few inches towards the front, I could probably suck it up and drive maybe right with it for a few minutes, but it wouldn't be a long-term deal unless you're a kid or a small person. What's really nice about it too, you have your own reading lights right here that you can turn on and off, and you also have your own vents right here on top, and you can regulate them, close them, open it, move them in the different directions. So if you don't want the air blowing on you, that's fine, put them to the side, but you still have a nice climate controlled 3rd row seat. But before we get in, I'll show the interior of it. Let's check out the sound of the closing door. Very nice and very solid. That noise as the car is running and the key is outside of the vehicle. So it kind of warns you that, hey, there's no key in the vehicle, but you left it running, which is a nice feature as well. Same theme as the front door, as the back door. Actually, you have your controls for the mirrors, windows, locks, etc. You have 2 memory seat settings. And then the seats itself, they're power seats on both sides. Now, of course, this one has a lot more adjustments than the passenger seat, but the passenger seat is power as well, and it's super comfortable. I gotta tell you, I love the design of it. I showed you the same thing in the back. It's more contoured for the passenger and driver in the front than it is in the back, but it's a very nice design of the seat. The pedals right underneath here, they're aluminum pedals with this rubber stubs on it, so that's a nice feature as well, sporty. And then the steering wheel is tilted and telescoping. It is manual one, and then you have a few buttons right on the side of here and that you can turn on or off, and that's basically your dimmer, your blind spot assist, your lane keep assist, traction control, and your gate in the back. And well, check this out, guys. I mean, I really like the interior of this. It is very eye-pleasing. It is premium feeling in the non-premium class. So this is soft plastic or soft vinyl. You have this simulated wood trim. You also have this polished aluminum trim right underneath here. And of course, this is hard plastic glove box on the side right there. Now, what else do we have here? 10.25-inch display. That's pretty much standard across the line right now for 2022. I know they upgraded that and wasn't before. And then on the steering wheel itself, you have this new Kia logo and a lot of buttons on it. So you have the mode buttons in here, and we're going to see what that controls. You can actually customize it just like on the Hyundai ones. It pops up on the screen, and then you have your voice control, volume control, mute button, and then your phone control buttons too. Now, as far as the pages right here, it controls what's going on in here. Cruise control, dynamic cruise control. You can set up the distance and then you can cancel it. So that's basically it. You start the vehicle right here. You have a start stop button. Now let's take a look at this instrument cluster right here. So we've seen a lot more modern instrument clusters, and Kia decided to stick with this one. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. I actually dig this analog display. It gives you just the right information, especially when you have all that tech that's assisting it with it. And let's check it out. So you have the tachometer on the left-hand side, speedometer on the right-hand side. Then you also have a temperature control and the fuel gauge. Now, the middle portion right there is a screen, which can serve as a couple different things. Well, then it's got a lot of information, but you know, when you see the Hyundais that have the blind spot cameras in the instrument cluster, when the digital instrument cluster is, you actually have kind of the same thing in here. And this, by the way, it tells you exactly what you do. Like, I turned off the lights right now, and if you turn the turn signals to the right, it turns on the right blind spot camera, turn it to the left, turns off the left blind spot camera, which is a very cool safety feature that this vehicle has. And also, let's see what else do we have in this. Let's go through some of the screens. So you have your regular trip, you have your compass, you have your tire pressure, and then you have basically a head-up display settings, different settings that you can adjust in here. Driver's assistance, door, lights, sound, convenience. Now you have a lot of other settings that you can change in here. Now let's see the lights. One touch turn signal, headlight delay. These are the only two options that are available. Okay, and then as far as the door, automatically lock, so you can adjust those to your liking. Head-up display, enable head-up display, display height, rotation, brightness, content section. Let's see what we can have. Turn-by-turn direction, traffic information, driving assistant, for lane safety info, blind spot, radio, media. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see the head-up display, but let's move up right here and let's see. From this angle, you can see there is a 0 miles per hour and a little lane keep assist. I'm not sure if you can maybe point it out. That's right there on this screen right there. So that's a pretty cool feature that's on this vehicle. And then we go into this fully touchscreen display. You go home, there's a little home button that does have this same setup as we've seen on many other Kias. So you have the map, navigation, phone projection. Now let's see, yes, you still have to use an USB cable. For some reason, Kia offers wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay on their smaller screens, but not on this one. Then you can have a voice memo, which is actually a very useful feature. Instead of writing something down, you just hit this button, record it, and retrieve it later. Passenger talk, this is what I was telling you about when I was pointing to the back. The front microphone will pick up the driver's voice and play it through the rear speakers, which I can hear myself speaking right now from the back, which is kind of weird, but if it's meaning that I don't have to yell out, that's actually a pretty cool feature. Let's go back. Then you have the quiet mode, which basically turns off the rear speakers and limits the front volume to level 7 and not above that. Now, HD radio data, radio setup, sounds of nature, I've seen that on many other Kia and Hyundai models, and actually that's maybe we can hear a little bit of how this surround sound sounds with this Harman Kardon stereo. Okay, so you really feel like you are in an open air cafe. It is a premium stereo system and it sounds actually pretty good. And you have the link to your user's manual and the UVO. It's the Kia support basically. And you can set up your own profiles. You know, there's basically, you can set up different screens in here, but the main one gives you like the temperatures and what was last played, time, etc. And then you go back to your main menus, and this is it. This will conclude what we have in here. Now, down underneath here, you have a lot of shortcut buttons. So you have your volume and power control. Then you have your map, navi, radio, media. So if you didn't want to use the touch screen on the top, there's a lot of shortcuts that can take you there without searching for it on the screen. And then moving down below, you have your automatic climate control, and it is a tri-zone climate control. You have the 2 zones in the front, the third one separate in the back, and you can control this from here or the back screen that I showed you that as well. And then some hard buttons for the controls as well. You have a heated steering wheel and the heated and ventilated seats on both passenger and driver side. And once you open this, you have a USB port, 2 USB ports actually, one for charge, one for data I believe, and then the regular cigarette lighter style charging as well as the wireless charging in here. You can also close that up and have it out of the way. Now, I like this setup. I like those grab handles that are sides of this and makes it for a little bit more rugged look. And I actually like the way that this is a regular style shifter. Now the transmission is electronically controlled, so this is for the looks basically, but it is a pretty cool and good looking shifters if you ask me. And then so normal shifting of course, and then you have several driving modes. So you have Smart, Sport, Comfort, Eco and Snow. So you have really 4 driving modes, actually 5, and then you can turn off that automatic engine shut off, parking sensors. You can set up the auto hold for your brakes, view, so you can see that front view camera, which we haven't looked at yet, and we're going to check it out right now. And what else we have? You have the electronic parking brake, cup holders, phone holder that I call it, and then right on the side of here you have an additional storage right in here. So you can see you don't have it on the driver's side, just on the passenger side. And you also have more storage right underneath here. Okay, so see, this wasn't part of Kia and somebody installed that crossbars on there, but they also were nice enough to leave the tools for it. Then you have an additional charging outlet. You can take this out if you wanted to, or you can leave it in for a 2-tier storage. Alright, so let's take a look at the rear view camera. Or we're on the inside here. Put it in reverse, and you have the top view, so you have the 360 camera, and you have different views that are available for you. So you have the back view. Okay, so this is the top view for the trailer. See that line right here that tells you the center of the vehicle where the trailer hitches, and then you have the wide angle, and then you have the side views if you are in a tight spot. You can also adjust some of the settings. Okay, you go back, but you also have the top view with the trajectory lines, and that you can see whether you're going to hit something in case you're backing out of a tight spot. Let's move up on top in here. So you have the regular mirror with the HomeLink system that's inside of here, and moving up to this console you have a sunglasses holder as well as the lights front. Okay, and then you have the UVO information, you have the emergency, and then you have the light controls as well in here. Front and rear sunroof. Okay, so I wasn't sure if the rear sunroof opened, and it looks like that just slides open. See? Yep, it just basically the only thing that opens is the cover, but that's what's to be expected. And it does have the front sunroof, of course, in here, and that's how it works. Well, guys, this is the interior of this 2022 Telluride SX Prestige Nightfall Edition, top of the line. I think it's super cool, but I think that what's cooler than this is the drive. So let's take it for a spin. Well, before we take that on the road, let's explore some of the trim levels that are available for this year's Telluride. So it starts with the LX, which is the base model. It's 33,090. Then the S at 35,590, EX at 38,090, and the SX at 42,990. Those are starting MSRP, and you can build off of that. Now, $1,900 is the all-wheel drive system. All the prices quoted with the front-wheel drive vehicles. So about $2,000 if you wanted to get a all-wheel drive. Now, like this particular one has several different options, and I'm working on getting the actual sticker for this vehicle, but I believe the original MSRP of this vehicle was somewhere in the $51,000 to $52,000 range. And as soon as I get it, I'll post it in the description of this video so you see what the additions are. So one of the additions is the four-wheel drive system. The other additions are the rear entertainment, which is not standard on even the highest end model. Then you have the Prestige package, which adds a lot of the luxury and comfort features, including like the rear heated and ventilated seats. Then the Nightfall package, which is basically the blacked out trim and the exterior appearance package. And then I'm not sure if the towing package is standard or if that was added on, but that might have been added on to this vehicle. Now this one of course has the running boards, which are not Kia's, and it does have the crossbars that are not Kia's as well, but you know, everything else is standard on this vehicle. So let's take this on the road. Before we do that, as always, I'm going to get in the middle of the lot right there and check out the turning of this vehicle, and we're going to see how many parking spaces will it take to completely turn it around. So I'm going to do it right here, turn the steering wheel all the way to the left, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and a quarter. 4 1/4 to 4 1/2, which is basically standard for the class mid-size SUVs. This is no different than my Pilot, let's say, or the Toyota Highlander, which all have a very similar turning radius. Overall feel of the vehicle, this is something to talk about. It feels more premium than it is. Like, you know, the MSRP is about $50-some thousand. Now, I can definitely compare it to some of the higher end models without mentioning their names, but some of them have like stars in their name or stars as a logo, etc. And those are more expensive vehicles. Now, of course, it doesn't have this prestige as the high-end brands, but this is why it's appealing to so many people, because, you know, at 50 grand, it's an expensive vehicle, but it's an affordable vehicle for somebody that's kind of not quite ready to spend $70,000 for a Mercedes or a BMW or an Audi, but wants to have all the amenities, a nice vehicle, and what's very important to mention, a super long warranty. Because the Kia's warranty, you know, it has the 10 years, 100,000 miles powertrain warranty. I know that's what's been bringing a lot of customers in, because if people are spending that kind of money, they're usually keeping those vehicles for a longer period of time, and they don't have to worry about anything that happens to the vehicle. Now, that's as far as the powertrain, the regular warranty. They actually have 3 different stages of the warranty. So 336 would be all the electronics, 560 would be the regular limited warranty, and then the 10100 would be everything else. But that's pretty cool. That's still way longer than the industry standards. Also, what's very important why Kia is so popular, other than of course the looks and the features, is that in the last few years JD Power and Associates came up with a bunch of studies. One of them was the initial quality study, which is basically after 90 days of ownership. So, you know, people owned it for 90 days and they came out and asked, hey, how did you like the car? And they have a certain scale and they rated it, and Kia won that basically. And guess what? You know, JD Power and Associates just about a couple weeks ago came up with their 3-year reliability study, and the Hyundai brand, which includes the Hyundai, Kia and Genesis, won the first 3 spots. So, you know, they came a long way from, you know, being this kind of cheap vehicle to being the vehicle that a lot of other companies are looking up to. Anyways, let's concentrate on the drive. Okay, I'm gonna actually check out the acceleration in a little bit, But as far as the drive, the visibility is very nice. You have this commanding view with this huge windshield right here. Even, you know, when I look in the mirror, there's no obstructions all the way through. Now, of course, if there were people sitting there, that would be another thing, but it helps that it does have two captain chairs, so there's nobody that's going to be sitting right behind me. And then the side mirrors, good visibility there. What if I turn around? Okay, good visibility there. It feels tight, it feels good, it feels very solid. Okay, the steering wheel, that's responsive. It's very light steering wheel. I think I might see it a little bit tighter. Maybe if I put it in the sport mode, let's see if it changes anything. Vaguely, I'm not sure if that's it's got any changes in here, but okay, so that is the overall feel. Now I'm gonna brake hard there before this turn. Okay, so it dives a little bit, but not bad. It actually bounces right back. The suspension is, it feels very solid. It feels very capable. Now it looks a little bit rugged outside. I'm not sure if anybody's done testing off-road. I mean, I don't think this is this is the class of vehicles where you take it on the trail. It might be able to go on the back roads or gravel roads or go camping and stuff like this, but I wouldn't really go rock climbing with it. So that's it. The last thing to check out, which we're gonna do in a little bit, is the acceleration. Well guys, on throttle, it is substantial. I'm not saying that it's super quick. It's very comparable to other vehicles in its class. Like I said, they tested it at about 7 seconds, 0 to 60, if that's something that's important for people. But more importantly, I think it does have enough power to get you up and going to merge into traffic safely without possibility of being rear-ended. Now, also another thing that's important about having like this larger displacement, naturally aspirated engine, that the power delivery, it's just different than on the turbo vehicles. I feel like it is smoother than on the turbo vehicles, that is not as jumpy, not as jerky, and some of them could be. There's definitely no turbo lag simply because there's no turbos in here. And overall, this is why Kia is one of the best selling vehicles, especially with the Telluride, on the market. So the features, the styling, the warranty, and the pricing, and you have a recipe for success. And guys, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope I brought a little bit of value into your life. And if you have made it that far into this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me that thumbs up. It motivates me a lot. And until then, I will see you in my next video. Cheers.